describe Tulsa as a big, small town or a small, big city?
Tulsa has an amazing layer upon layer of history. It has all kinds of culture. It has beautiful parks.
Beautiful parks. Downtown has so much Art Deco and culture. A lot of Gen X activity. It's really the place to be.
They got lots of stuff to do. It's a nice downtown. They got casinos and baseball.
We're on the foothills of the Ozarks, so we have lots of rolling hills. And around here, they call this green country. It's a pretty place to live. It really is. I'm sticking around, I think.
Everything's just super grass material as far as the culture. So, yeah, Tulsa rules.
Thanks, you said the name of the show.
I'm Jonathan Mayo, and for more than 20 years, I've traced the path of baseball's rising stars, navigating the back roads of the national pastime and basking in the glow of small-town America's spirit, where the team is woven into the fabric of everyday life, where it's more than just a game. It's a celebration of the people, the traditions, and the culture that give these places their soul. This is Grassroots. Tulsa, Oklahoma sits at the crossroads of our nation and the American experience. It's where industry and art, urban and rural, tragedy and triumph all converge. While Tulsa's treasured landmarks, like its monumental derricks, trains, and signs, are clearly visible from the city's famed roadway, its complicated history is often hidden under your feet. It requires drilling down through many layers to find its true wealth. Since the early 1900s, Tulsa has been referred to as the oil capital of the world. Today, the city prized for its black gold is also known for its green diamond.
Professional baseball in Tulsa, it's actually older than the state of Oklahoma. The first professional team took the field in 1905, and Oklahoma didn't become a state until 1907. And it's got a deep, rich history.
That rich history dates back to the turn of the 20th century, when Tulsa's first independent baseball team, the Oilers, was formed. The Drillers came to town in 1977, and over the decades, Tulsa was a rest stop for many different organizations. Since 2015, they've served as the AA affiliate of the back-to-back world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. But the real worth of this club lay not in its storied past, but rather in the living history of its faithful.
I've been a Tulsa fan for 68 years. Actually, I worked in 57 and 58. The old Tulsa Oilers, I operated the scoreboard. That was on the ground crew from 61 to 66. We were a Cardinal organization then.
When my mother was pregnant with me, she would go to the games, and anytime the Drillers scored a home run or just a run in general or a great play, the fans would cheer and they would stomp their feet on the metal bleachers. Well, I would feel the vibration of the metal bleachers, and so I would kick my mother's stomach. So technically speaking, they said I've been a Driller fan since before I was born. So I like to tell people I'm 33 years old, but I'm 34 years old as a Drillers fan.
These days, Drillers fans can stomp and kick in the decidedly more modern accommodations of One Oak Field.
This place opened in 2010, and I've said it, it's our most valuable asset. It's just been phenomenal in downtown Tulsa and the support that we've received from the community.
I tell you what, I've been to a lot of minor league cities, and this is as good as any of them. I mean, they show up, and they're passionate. Good weather, bad weather, hot, cold, whatever it may be. And I heard that before I came here, and it's real.
And I truly believe that the Drillers are Tulsa. We are Tulsa community team. As a deaf and hard of hearing person myself, it was always a dream to have a Drillers jersey that was spelled out in sign language. We are able to make that happen now. We just hosted our 4th annual Hearing Loss Awareness Night. And being able to be a community team, we're able to showcase that everybody is welcome here. Everybody can root for the same team. or not.
You don't just come to a baseball game anymore. There's other things to do. I mean, there's museums, there's restaurants, there's bars. And then we want to take it from there and just take it to the next level.
I mean, personal chefs in the clubhouse. I mean, if you had that when you were playing, maybe you would have played longer.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, or maybe not as long, but the organization here does a great job of taking care of the human being. And I'm a huge believer in that. And the players within our organization know that. And I think if you do that first, it helps you become a better baseball player as well.
The road to the majors belongs to each player alone. Others may drive it with them, but no one can drive it for them. Two of baseball's top prospects, Josue DePaula and Zahir Hope, are early on their respective drives, but they've already found themselves on very similar paths. The talented outfielders were teammates in Rancho Cucamonga in 2024, and Great Lakes before a late-season call-up to Tulsa last year. The trip can often feel lonely, so it's always nice to have a friend along for the ride.
I always say it's always cool to have somebody to do it with, you know what I'm saying? Always cool to have another person doing the same thing at the same time. Come from similar backgrounds, so it's cool to have somebody like that through the journey.
I got traded and stuff like that, so I don't really know anybody. But like that next year, when we both went to Rancho together, that's when we kind of, all right, we got close, stuff like that.
As they eye their futures in baseball, they're careful to remember where they came from, because sometimes, in order to move forward, you have to look back. And in Tulsa, looking back can mean confronting some very difficult chapters in its tumultuous history.
Gentlemen, welcome to Greenwood. Greenwood is a historic African-American neighborhood here in Tulsa going back to the late 1800s. Here at Greenwood Rising Black Wall Street History Center, we told the story of the neighborhood and information about how the neighborhood grew, but also an important period known as the Tulsa Race Massacre. But then again, how the community was able to overcome the violence that they experienced and to try to regrow again. So I want to walk you around, show you some exhibits, and teach you a little history. Is that all right?
Sir.
This exhibit is meant to tell you about the origins of Greenwood, its connections to our native culture, the oil industry, and how it became known affectionately as Black Wall Street. Not stocks and bond trading, but just the amount of wealth that was in the neighborhood. In May of 1921, there was a young man named Dick Rowland. He was a shoe shine worker. He was trying to go to the restroom downtown, got on the elevator to go up to the 5th floor of this one building where there was a segregated restroom. On the elevator, then they had elevator operators, and the young lady was named Sarah Page. She was white, he was black. Something happened on the elevator. He bumped into her, whatever. But she said he tried to attack her. He ran. The sheriff picked him up, put him in the county courthouse. The newspaper wrote an article in the evening edition that says, "Nab Negro for attacking girl on the elevator," after that news got out. A mob of white people started going down towards the courthouse once they saw that article. Black men in the neighborhood said, "No, we're not having that. We're gonna go and protect him." Even though they were outnumbered, they went and stood between the courthouse and the mob. And after several hours of back talking and all these other things, the scuffle broke out and the violence lit, and then the community was raided. Greenwood lying in ruin, $1.5 million in real estate property damage, estimated in 1921 dollars. That's $20+ million today. And hundreds of people left the city, but many more stayed. Donations started to come in once the news got out across the country, and they were able to rebuild, and rebuild relatively quickly. The pictures you see and the artifacts you see are from schools, churches, and businesses, and how they were able to overcome what happened.
It's interesting, man. It opens up a whole nother perspective, especially here. Like, opens you up to the history of, we had no clue that this happened here, so.
I feel like it's important to understand what was going on back then. So coming here really really like opened a new like set of my brain, like understanding what happened back then. It really like it touched another part.
We're in an interesting period now where a new mayor is working on a plan to try to help North Tulsa address the things that happened back then. It's actually a very interesting and cautious, optimistic time about some of the growth here in the area beyond Black Wall Street area and the rest of Greenwood.
The Tulsa Drillers Ballpark is firmly rooted in the historic Greenwood district, with the profound Greenwood Rising Museum located just beyond its left field gate. Both institutions are part of the revitalization of this remarkable neighborhood, which has been the site of so much triumph and tragedy. It's a reminder that while the way can sometimes be treacherous, there's always hope on the horizon. You don't need to dig too deep into Tulsa's past to find the roots of its musical history. The Drillers paid homage to this legacy by playing as the Tulsa Sound, an alternate identity that captures the soulful devotion that the city has for the recording industry. If music is a religion in Tulsa, then this is unquestionably its church.
All right, let me think about this for a second. I know I do it all the time, but okay. Welcome to the church studio. The building itself was built in 1915 as the Grace Methodist Episcopal Church. That is Leon Russell, the way that he looked in 1972, the year that he bought the church.
Really, the who's who in the music industry in the mid-1970s came to Tulsa, and a lot of that had to do with Leon Russell. He was kind of the musician's musician, and so our entire city rallies around the music industry.
Leon is here for a period of only 4 years. But during that 4 years, Tulsa becomes a music mecca.
We have live music 7 days a week in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We are a legitimate music city. The church studio took 6.5 years to renovate. We are listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The building is 110 years old. And we've been a studio for over 50 years. We have an artist grant program so local musicians can record at no charge. We absolutely love our local musicians. They are really the heart of what we do. One of our favorite bands is the band Vogue.
Outfielder and first baseman John Rhodes joined me for an intimate performance by the Tulsa born and raised musicians to learn how the sibling trio carved their own path forward.
Tulsa is a very mixed city of arts and film and sports. I mean, it's a true melting pot of all kinds of things, and we thought we could help with the music industry here.
When we'd find ourselves in writers' sessions writing these songs, and people are like, oh yeah, that person's from Oklahoma, or you know, this person's, it was like all these connections back to home that finally we found ourselves back here and literally here in the church.
I know it's home and you grew up here, but like, what's the vibe here?
Roots.
Explain the vibe.
Like roots, I would say.
Yeah, I think it gives people the space to be creative.
Yeah.
Like there's something about the simplicity and the slowness here that allows, like, specifically in our area of music, it allows people to dream big and feel like they, you know, can, yeah, just shoot for the stars and go somewhere like Nashville, but then come back home and be proud of where you're from.
That idea of like dreaming big and, you know, trying to grind it and get to that ultimate goal, whatever that ultimate goal is, does that resonate with you at all?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the same thing as, I think we're on the same pathway, just in different avenues of life. And it's, you know, we start off in baseball, you get drafted and you have to go to rookie ball, low A, high A, double A, so you're moving around all these towns to try to level up. But for us, it's like, I'm in Tulsa, you know, it's not, never thought I'd end up in this part of the world, you know, in this stage of my life, but, you know, it's where I'm at, and, you know, but it's with the end goal in mind, I think.
Yeah.
When the rubber hits the road, like, you have to believe in what you're doing, because people just, they got other stuff going on. So for us, it was like, we have to push this
And I
forward.
think this place, Church Studio and Teresa, they've believed in us. And even the roots of Leon Russell, like he didn't take no for an answer. He went on tour when he was like 16, and it's just incredible.
What I've seen, what I'm sure you guys have seen, is like the people that have been super successful and have made it, like have that innate self-belief in themselves.
And you can't have a plan B.
Yeah.
You just can't. Like, if you're gonna go for something as big as you're going for, plan B is always
Gonna be comfortable.
reachable.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
it's always
you
there.
can't go get that
You
job.
gotta do all or
whatever.
nothing. You gotta be all in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, have you found that, John? Like,
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, I
Burn the
think,
ships.
oh yeah, one of my friends with the Drillers actually said that the other day. I was like, you know, what do you want to do after baseball? Like, he's like, dude, I haven't gotten there yet. Like, you know, I just, under the motto of just burn the ships. Like, I'm all in. I'm totally vested. And I was like, wow, that's a really good way to look at it, because, you know, you're always thinking in the back of your head, you're on these long bus trips, and like, so you're always kind of playing that what if game. But 50 years down the road, are you going to be like, what if I actually went all in? Like, what if I actually committed to this and was totally convicted in what I'm doing? And so I think that's the main thing, is like I said, just you got to burn the ships in both of our career paths, and like hope for the best. And if it doesn't, at least you know you gave your best effort.
Yeah.
Because you can go get that job.
But
So, like, whatever.
But our window of opportunity for like this is it's so short, and I think it gets shorter every day. And
100%.
it's like we got to maximize it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least we can say like we gave it our best effort, we tried, and we went about it. And so I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Route 66 is one of the most celebrated and scenic byways in the world. The Mother Road, as it was dubbed by author John Steinbeck, celebrates its 100th birthday this year, and its asphalt looks as smooth as ever. Route 66 embodies the very spirit of the open road, with adventure, opportunity, and freedom around every bend. And if you want to experience any of the above for yourself in Tulsa, the highway's historians encourage motorists to take the road somewhat less traveled by.
I think it's important that you get off of the highway that is marked Route 66 and get on to the smaller roads and follow the historic signs so you're on the original alignment, because that's where you're going to find some true ma and pa restaurants and just the true people that are reminiscent of that era.
If you drive Route 66 here just to the next town over, you're going to go over hills and dales, you're going to see a farm, you're going to see a beautiful homestead, an old cemetery. It just brings back what America is all about. And so it's important to get off that highway.
All that sightseeing sure can work up an appetite. Just ask drillers Sean McLean and Carson Hobbs, whose day begins like it does for any red-blooded Tulsan, with a hearty Western breakfast. You guys both have been to this spot here. How important it is to have like a go-to breakfast spot when you're in pro ball?
A little diner is huge during the year, right? You would say?
I mean, yeah, it's a place you can kind of just go blend in and be a normal person for like an hour, 2 hours before you kind of have to go to the ball field and just kind of do what you do on a day-to-day basis. So it's a good little place to get away.
So what's this town like? You know, give us the lay of the land. And Sean, you've been here all year.
I would say Tulsa is just a little intimate town, and it's nice to play in front of, fans that you see on a daily basis. It's definitely really cool to play in front of, kind of feel like a little hometown crowd.
I found it to be pretty sleepy. People are always kind of minding their own business, kind of taking it at their own pace, and, a lot more quiet than I thought it would be.
I don't want to ask you too many questions about your brothers,
Yeah.
but you might as well get used to it. I'm sure you got a bunch of them, but it's just like brother in the big leagues, another brother in pro ball. Like, what was growing up in the McLean family like?
Very competitive. I mean, from doing laundry to basketball to literally, we used to play volleyball.
Explain competitive laundry to me.
Competitive laundry, like who can do the laundry the fastest? My mom said whoever folds their laundry the fastest, I'll give you $10. Like little stuff like that.
And who's the best laundry folder in the family?
Me.
Oh boy, you didn't even, you did not even hesitate. All right. I want to ask you about closing. I like talking to guys like what that's like in the 9th inning to finish games.
It's funny you ask that because the guy you're sitting here talking to is not the same guy that you see closing out ball games.
I got the sense, yeah.
Getting the last 3 outs in the 9th inning. It's just not. There really is no adrenaline rush like it. It's you go out there and you get the job done, you finish the game, and you move your team on. That's kind of what you do, and you get ready to do it again the next day. And so that's kind of where my mind's at. Is it's something that you got to prepare to do every day. You got to be ready to go win a ball game every single time the ball's handed to you, and that's honestly what I live for.
More and more in the minors, across all organizations, they emphasize winning more than they used to, back in the day. But you're part of an organization that, when you get to the big leagues, there's an expectation, right? There are no down years in Los Angeles.
Right.
Do you think going through this kind of process sort of helps your mindset in terms of so when you're in Los Angeles, you're ready to I know what winning baseball's supposed to look like?
Yeah. There's 100% a standard that comes with being an LA Dodger. I mean, there's an automatic expectation when you see the World Series championships, you see the culture, and you see what the big league side looks like with, $500, $600 million men over there. You see what the expectation is, and you kind of say to yourself, okay, that's the bottom bar. It's that's ultimately where we're trying to get to, and then championships after that. So, you get to the Dodgers, it's a pretty clear expectation right away. The standard is winning.
US Route 66 passes right by Dodger Stadium as it makes its epic 2,448-mile journey through Tulsa from Chicago to the Pacific coast. But today's drillers would be wise to not look too far down the road. Every player's path will be different, and fortunes can be found right here at the crossroads, just like they did for Muskogee Creeks, ranchers, railroaders, and oilers for generations. As you chase your dreams, it's important to get off the highway and explore your surroundings every once in a while, because you never know where you'll find treasure.
The pitch is a swing and a fly ball to left. Sundstrom's going back to the wall. This one is off the wall. The Drillers win it in 13 innings. On a base hit by Sean McLean, he